Hey Hans,
Hello, Abby. How are you?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm trying to write this report thing.
Oh, it's necessary.
Yeah, no, it's different. I'm not used to writing reports, so I'm trying.
But henceforth, you need to do it because even though you might be working on a personal project, you still need to add something about the project in the README file. And the only reason why you have to do that is that sometimes you might need a collaborator, somebody to just work with you, or somebody to provide some help with you, or you might want to like have the project like something that people can just work on, like they can just leverage on. So you need to actually give them some insight of what you are working on. So that's why you need to learn project documentation. It might not be just like voluminous as people used to say, just the important parts. You understand? If you there are some setup, there are some probably some links you need to put there, and how you actually think people will find it easy when they want to actually work on it. So it's very important, and I know that some of you might not be doing it at this moment, like probably in the previously, or at least you can just like start from somewhere, then ask for review from people. That what actually make your work really better is to seek for feedback, which is one of the reasons why project methodology comes into the course. We really want you guys to know what it feels like to just start from building, then get it back to the customer. Then like, how do you get feedback from the customer? So that's it's very necessary, and I think you guys will enjoy this session. Hi everyone.
So quiet.
Yeah. One thing I like is this. In this session, I would like it to be interactive. You guys will be having some like a kind of contribution because I think we are having the session in like in two parts. First, I'll try to just break down what Agile methodology is all about. Then we'll now just move on to the like how do you actually plan a project? Like we get like a project topic, then we try and make some research. We get the user story written down. Then we'll now go and plan it on the Trello board. So we just go about it. So I feel like if you are able to do that, the CA will be so easy to actually get out. And not just the CA, because I'm not all about CA. I'm all about when you want to work, immediately you leave NROF, the probability is that you join a team. Then we want you to have experience about what is going on in a team. How do you go about it? How do you start working on a ticket or something like that? So welcome, Jane. You just need to just like wait for like I think it's still like 1 minute more. I just discovered that recently I switched from Mac system to Windows system, and it looks like the Windows system is now actually seamlessly working with Discord video. That was one of the issue I encountered the first time I tried to have a session with you guys. So it was I just discovered that anytime I want to have like a 1 hour sync with anybody, I just discovered that it doesn't actually work well, even though I know that my network is actually okay. So I try like Google Meet and I feel like it's okay. So that's why I feel like let's just use this and see how far we can go with this. And I think so far everything has been going all right. So it's time already. I don't think can we just start? And people are still coming in. Okay. I would like to share my screen. And like I said, I think we should make uh, this session interactive. I want you all to contribute. I might be the one taking the lead, but I want everybody to actually contribute to it. You because today is Thursday, it's TA deadline is Sunday, and I believe, like, let's just say, like 80% of you must have gone through the content. So I know you guys should have one or two things to just contribute. So that's why I feel like interactive session would be awesome. You guys will have to contribute. All right. I welcome everyone. And in this session, titled Planning a Project, we'll be talking about Agile project methodology. And the first part will be like trying to just get an overview of what Agile project methodology is all about. Then the second part of it, which is like probably the 30-minute part of it, will be on like the practical aspect. We try and get a project topic. We try and break it down to stories. They will just take it to Kanban board or Trello board and just break it down there. So without wasting much of your time, as far as I'm concerned, in project development, there are methodologies, many methodologies there. If you try and make research about project methodology in software engineering or even in any kind of engineering, you will see that you have like different methodologies. There is traditional methodology, there is V model, there is prototyping. But the experience says it that agile project methodology has proven to be the nice one. A lot of teams across the whole world use it. And what makes everybody adopt that is that the fact that it is very interactive, it is very agile. The agility is just there. You the feedback process is so awesome. The way it works is that um when you want to start like a project, you need to actually have a kind of overview on understanding of what the project is like. Then you have to just make a kind of what do you call a kind of like a list of all the possible things you want to build there. So if you have overview of that, you or let me just go this way. Um, in agile project methodology, there are a lot of people involved. Ranges from a stakeholder, you have a project owner, you have the development team, and you have customer. And everybody have to just work hand in hand. The fact that because if you are starting a project, you need a product owner. And when we say product owner, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a client you're working with. For instance, maybe I'm working with Hans. Hans might be the client giving me like a kind of e-commerce website. Hans doesn't need to be the product owner. So I might be the product owner because I just need to talk to Hans. Hans will just tell me what the project is all about. Then if I have a clear view of what the project is all about, then I can now get a team, pardon me, and it's just accept some people in. So when I understand what the project is all about, I'll be serving as the product owner there. The reason why I have to serve that, we don't allow the real project owner to serve as the project owner in the team is that the product owner might not even know the technical know-how. You might not even know how to actually the appropriate term to use. So most cases, the product owner comes from the engineering team. So that person will be the one that understand all the technical time, everything. Like he might not be the person that actually knows everything about the technical part, but at least he knows what the board should look like. He knows how to get his stories from the real client and just break it down to the and try and lay it out to the development team. Then also the customer is very, very important. So what actually makes agile methodology awesome is that you can actually take a requirement from the stakeholder and take it to the development team. Immediately the development team finish with it, it can go to the customer immediately. It can just go. When we are done with a particular requirement, you just go to the customer use it and bring feedback back. So when the feedback is just coming back, it might not come to the development team. You go back to the the product owner. Then we can just try and address that. Then we bring it back there. So let me just try and explain this, please. See, what you are seeing here is like a Scrum. A moment. I hope this will not disturb us. We have another person coming in. Okay, this is like a sample of what uh, a Scrum board looks like. I'm still coming there. There are two approaches to Agile project methodology. We have Scrum and we have Kanban. I just want to explain something here. Why Agile methodology is awesome. Um, the fact that we can move like this story. I can move it down here, move it down here, move it down here. Immediately it reach this stage, we deploy it. So the customer or the end users can just use it immediately. We finish it. We deploy it straight away. And when if there is any issue with that particular requirement we implemented, it will comes down back as a feedback. It might not come back like a kind of user story again. It will come back as a feedback from the user. Then the stakeholder will now try and sync with the product owner. The product owner will now try and just lay it out in form of a user story back to this product backlog. So that is why, because as everything just happen as it comes, we don't wait and see. Like in traditional methodology, you have to just build the whole app like commerce, for instance now an e-commerce. You build everything from the start to finish. In fact, sometimes you might not even do the testing. You finish everything, then you will not test. When you test, you now take it back to the customer. Then when the customer now bring in the feedback will be like a bunch of feedback. So it's not that interactive. So that's why a lot of teams, I think I've been able to work with like 4 teams whereby we use Agile methodology. In most cases, some people use Kanban, while some people use Scrum. So now let me just break it down to what Scrum and Kanban is. You see, both of them, they are interactive, but there are some difference. The major difference there lies in the workflow, how things is just lay out there. For instance, they look at this. This is a Scrum Trello board. So in Scrum, everything happen sprint by sprint. What we mean by sprint is just like a kind of duration where we have some number of tasks to just get done. So before anything in a Scrum, there is what we call Scrum planning. In sprint planning, there's a meeting like that. In sprint planning, it happens between this product backlog and this sprint backlog. This product backlog is where we have all the features, all the requirements from the stakeholder. So from here, before we move anything from here to here, there must be a meeting between the movement of requirement from product backlog to sprint backlog. So the whole team, just like we are having team, we have to discuss. Do we want to work with this in this sprint? Do we want to work with that? If everybody agree working on a particular work, so we move it down here. So if we are able to move any story or any requirement from here down to this place, that means for that sprint normally spans between like a week or 2 weeks. And this time around, the decision might be your decision. You might say in a month, in few hours, but what I was saying that you have like a kind of duration that you have some list of uh, ticket or requirement to work on. And if anything comes in, like let's say we have like these two uh, tickets in this sprint backlog here. If anything comes probably like from the customer, there's a feedback that just comes like that need urgent attention. We don't attend to it in Scrum. When we after sprint planning, whatever we have here, we get done first before anything. We have to finish these two tickets before any other thing comes. So any other thing coming in, if there is a feedback coming from like the stakeholder, the customer, everything we have to come back to this product backlog. Okay, so now just little by little, we now move from this to just progress on that. So one thing about Scrum is that there are a bunch of meetings in there. Well, for instance, now we have a sprint planning here. And when we finish this and we complete, like let's just say we complete all these sprints. After every sprint, there is a meeting called uh, Scrum review. Scrum review is to know what actually went where, what didn't go where, and the solution, the way out there. The essence of that is that now, after we complete this sprint, we want to start a new sprint. We don't want to make the same mistake we make in the previous sprint. So, and even after that, after this sprint review, there's another thing called sprint retrospective. In that case, there's still a lot of discussion there, which may not be necessary because sometimes you might be the only one working in this thing. So that is what Scrum. Scrum is like everything go sprint by sprint. Whatever you have in a sprint must be get done before we can actually come to the next sprint. So that is that. Then we have Kanban. Kanban is just like a continual process. There is nothing like sprint in Kanban. I'm just talking about the major difference between sprint and the Kanban. In sprint, I mean, it's Scrum, sorry. In Scrum, everything is sprint by sprint. While in Kanban, everything is just continuous process. So in Kanban, you don't need this column here. Okay, you don't need this column here. Everything just come from product backlog. Sorry. Thank you. I'll try and just go a bit slow. Thank you. All right. So in Kanban approach, there is nothing like sprint backlog. Everything comes from this product backlog, jump straight away to progress column. So you pick everything from here down here. So the advantage here is that if there is any urgent requirement that comes into this, you can easily pull it in to in progress. You don't need to wait for sprint to end before you can pull it another thing. So is that to me is very agile. Then I can attest to it that there are a number of teams that I've worked with use Kanban because they don't want to work for sprint by sprint before they can do it. When the need arise, just attend to it and just complete it and pick another one. So that's just that today. So I think that's an overview of what agile uh, project methodology is all about. Everything is like is so interactive that when feedback comes, you attend to it as quick as possible there, compared to other methodology there. Now, let me just let's take like a kind of I think this is just like 15 minutes. I would like one or two of you to just like probably if there's any question, a kind of contribution you can just contribute because I want this section to be interactive. Please, maybe in just 10 minutes we can just do that. Question, contribution, please. There is no right or wrong here. You can just contribute. I would like this section to be interactive. I believe like a large number of you must have gone through the content. And I was able to go through it. I saw it that there is Scrum section there, there is a Canvas section there. So I don't know if there is anything I missed there that you guys want to actually mention there. So if there is no question and there is no contribution, okay, I think there is a from a coder or designer point of view, is it important to know all these details of what is with what in the process? I think at the early stage of your career as a coder or designer, You might not, this might not be actually necessary for you to know everything in the process, because one thing about software development is that everything doesn't just fall in place in one day. So as you begin to work in a team, you get a very good understanding of what and what is what there. But regardless of whether your experience, we want you, before you say you want to join a team, we want you to have like a basic understanding. Okay, we want you to have a basic understanding there. That will actually make you perform better in the team. Because when you join a team, you will discover that you have a lot of different individuals there. And one thing that makes you stand out in the team is like all this scrumming of a team. Because sometimes you might join a team whereby they will have, the team might be an early stage team whereby they might appoint you to be the scrum master. And a scrum master, you don't want to tell me you don't want, we are paying you for it. You don't want to tell me you don't want to do that. Probably might need to make some research, try to just go ahead there. But at least we want you to understand what is going on there. Because I think one of the boot camp I attended when I was still learning programming, I have to uh, fill in the position of a scrum master, even though I don't have like a good understanding about it, but at least I did it. I I moderate how everything comes in, who and who is working on this ticket when we need to get done. So you need to understand that this one of the let me just say one of the thing that makes people feel like I'm no more a beginner, I'm a senior dev, I'm a mid-level dev, all those things. It actually it's very important. And if you are saying you are working as a designer, sometimes you might, I think like there is a team I work in, Snaps, uh, a team in, I think New York, yeah. We have a designer there. The designer, we don't call it designer, we call it UI, I think UI UX engineer or something like that. So when we are having the Scrum, I mean the sprint planning, you have to be there. So you should know how to bring in your own stories there. If you are a designer and you have a task, let's say you are designing like a kind of a product uh, interface. When you finish designing it, you have to go to the board and mark it done or move it from one column to another column. You don't want to mess things up for the rest of your team. So it's very important that you know what is going on about the project methodology. And sometimes even if you are working as a freelancer, you will have a client you are dealing with. So a way to actually moderate the way you work, because freelancing can be so funny that the customer or the client might not even know how things work. You just be bringing in new feature, new feature. You have to at least moderate things that, see, when we are working on this, we need to get this done before we put in this. There are some funny clients like that. They will just tell you that, see, while you are doing this, I want you to quickly do this. When you are, this is still ongoing. So it's very important. But at this level, we don't expect you to like be that scrum master that everybody just that is getting paid for. At least you need to know the difference between a Kanban approach and Scrum approach. And also you need to know that the workflows, when there is a new requirement coming up from the customer, it has to come into the backlog. So if you are ready to work on it, you need to move that requirement to the in progress column. When you are done with it, you need to go and move it to the to do. So anybody who wants to assess your work can just come to the board and say, wow, this is what has been done, this is what has been done. They can just, so by just looking at the board, they have a clear view of what is going on, what is still not ongoing. So I think I've been able to answer that. So the next thing is, so sprint backlog is basically things that are very urgent. No, it might not be. It's just that what the team feel like we need to do next. It might not be. Yes, it might be in some aspect, but it might not necessarily come from the customer. Sometimes it might not be like an ongoing project. Let me call it that way. It might be like probably a startup. So the team will have a sprint planning. They will now feel like, let's first of all get in this feature. So all those features, the story for the features, they will just bring it on that. So, but if uh, is an ongoing project, probably like an e-commerce project that some customers are already using. So in most cases, the urgent requirement goes into the next uh, sprint backlog. So is it okay to just make to-do list as the time goes and we make each task, we move it from stage? Yes, it's okay. So the expectation from my own side is that for this CA, if you are submitting anything, I want to see the list of requirement, that is the backlog. You have to fill everything. I want to see, because the requirement is that there are some number of pages you have to do. So you should have like stories for all the uh, pages, but at least you should have something ongoing. Yes, you should have something ongoing. Probably it might be the research part of it, because believe me or not, if you are working on a new project, you need to do research. So I would like to have to see a research uh, story that says I want to research on so so particular thing. So it should be ongoing. There should be something ongoing. I think that, did you review someone's Trello board here? No, this is my Trello board. I think I did this like in 2018. It was one of the bootcamp project that I did then. So it's a requirement that you have to do this before you can get past to the next stage. So I did this. It's not somebody, it's my own. I did this. So I'll be doing another one on this session. So I think we can move on now. All right. So the next stage is like we need to actually pick a project and try and see how far we can go with it, plan it on the Trello board. I would say we should just do something like e-commerce, because I think the project that you guys did in the HTML and CSS, most of it is just like a kind of an e-commerce. You have some product list, then you have some single page to a kind of product details page. You have contact page, you have about page. So I would like to use like a project that all of you understand, so that we just see how far we can go with it. But in most cases, when you are planning a project, one way or the other, you have some gray areas, something you don't understand about the project. So that is why I always like to just have like a room for research. You set like maybe some duration that I would like to just research on so thing within probably just a few days or just a day. So you need to put it there. So in a case whereby you don't actually have a very good understanding about what the project is about, so you need to actually create a story that I want to get. But probably it might not be that you want to research, go online and research. It might be something like you want to meet with a customer, then do a kind of meeting. You have to put it on the board. So it's very good that whatever project you are building, you should have like a potential customer to talk to, because customer is actually the real user that will actually accept or reject whatever you are building. So you need to have. It might not be the real user. It might be your uncle, your son, your daughter, somebody that can actually give you like something close to real life feedback. So I would say we should just try and just uh, look for e-commerce. Okay. So I will create a new body. I'll say create a new board. So I will say Norof dash e-commerce. I think somebody asked this question like yesterday that should we make it private or public? I would say public, because this is like a kind of CA. And then you might want to share the Trello board with the reviewer. But either case is okay. You can make it private. But if you are making it private, that means when you want to present the evidence that you actually did the uh, produce the board, you need to just take a kind of screenshot of each one of them. I think it's time wasting, because you need to take, for instance, now let me just come down here. You need to take like a screenshot of everything here, then go into each of the tickets and be taking all those things. So that might be so. Instead of that, I would like to just create it like I'll create it as a kind of public board. Public board in the sense that it doesn't matter. You might decide and say probably after the assessment has been completed, you can just cut it short and just change it back to public. So yes, I'm making this. I will create this. So I will have a fresh board now. What is it? Good, good. Let me quickly say something here. There are two major things important when you are creating a board. You need to specify the workflow. You need to specify the stories. The workflow is just like each of the column you have there, because when we say we are moving from backlog to in progress to done or complete, that's the workflow. Everything comes from backlog to in progress. And in some cases, I have to say this, in some cases, that in progress column, let me just say I have like a backlog. Like I don't want to use Scrum, I want to use Canva. So I will only have like probably three or four this thing, enter key, I have backlogs. I have like in progress. Okay, let me just do it this way. In progress, and I can have complete or done. Okay, this is my workflow. But I would like to add something here. I would like to divide this in progress. This is my workflow. That means that anything you see here is the list of the tickets I would like to get done. But it might not be. Uh, it might not be what I'm currently working on. But so then I can just say, because in probably, let me just say, virtually every one of us, when you build something, you need to test it. So I think it's okay that when I build like the landing page, I have to test the landing page. So instead of me to just have this, I'll say build. Let me just say, I can just say build. I can have another one and say test. Good. I can move this one down here. So but this is not necessary at all. What I just feel like this is okay, because if I move a ticket from now down to build, so when I'm testing, I can actually easily show it there. But if you don't have testing column as is allowed, I think I can still give you a thumbs up there. That's why I'm not actually saying everybody should get it this way. No, 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 no. That's why I want this section to be interactive there. So you can say in progress, but the challenge is that you might be using a label. I will show you what a label means. You might be using a label to actually say this particular task is in progress, but currently is we're still building the probably the building stage. We're not testing. When you move to testing, you can just use a label there. Well, we're still going there, but at least the first thing is that you need to lay out your workflow. So in my workflow, as you are seeing it now, I have backlog here, which contain all the requirements of the project. So everything you see here is what I'm currently building. Uh, I would like to just say building testing. It's an ongoing process, so I should just use this. So everything you see here is what I'm currently testing. So whatever you see here is done. So and if it is done, we are moving into customer. So customer can just give us the feedback. So whatever comes from the customer, it comes down back to backlog. So that's it there. So the next thing is that what's the project? The project is um, e-commerce. So we have to now decide. Probably I should just use a notes pad here. So e-commerce. Okay. So probably stories. I will just say stories. I might not need to lay it out here, but I will just say here. So the first thing, like really, let me just say research. Research about the features, the basic features of an e-commerce, something like that. I have this here. Okay. The next thing is that whether you like it or not, you need to set up your environment. There's a setup because you need time for that. Set up a local environment. Okay. If I set it up, there is no way you want to do it. You need a kind of repository. So you set up GitHub. You might not necessarily need GitHub. I not use GitHub. I can just say repo because you can use Git. You can use Git. You can use GitLab. You can use GitHub. So I'll just say repo. I've not made the decision here. Okay. Now I have the repo. I have this. The another thing is that when you when you are working on a project and you want it to be in real time, want it to be interactive, you have to make a provision that whenever you complete a ticket, it should go straight to the customer. So there is need for setting up the hosting environment. So set up the hosting. Uh, you can just say probably if I want to host it on Nestify, set up Nestify or something like that. It depend on what you want to use, but just know that this is the hosting part. Okay. So now I'm not even talking about the Trello now. I'm just trying to lay out every possible thing that comes to my head. You can make research during this process. That's why I said the first ticket should be the research. So during that process, you can just see that where you can allocate like probably a few hours a day or 2 days. You can just allocate to that. So I will just say, oh, let me just continue, please. All right, I'll continue. Now, there are likely pages I want to have here. I will say I want to have like the landing page. I want to have the um, probably the product listing page, products, products listing page. I want to have what else again? Probably product details page. I want to have, let me just cut it short there. About page, contact page. Then you can might need to have like a kind of checkout page. Then also there is what else? Maybe cart page where you have all the cart page. But it doesn't matter. So I have all this. Okay. Then what else do I think I need to have here? There are some cases whereby you have to set up some other settings, but let me just leave it here. So right now at this level, this is what comes to my head. So you can go on, I can go on and just try and lay out things about this. So now I'm coming back to this. So the first card I'm having here, and another thing I have to say here is that this is not actually like we are not actually strict about this. You know, there is what we call user story. The user story should be structured in form of as if you are talking, as if it is coming or you are talking to a potential customer. For instance, now let's say I want to build a landing page. Okay, as a user, you can just say, as a user, uh, I want to uh, go to the landing page and do stuff there. So because if you structure it that way, probably like say, for example, let me just come down here and do it there. Example of a story. You can just say as a user, I want to go to the landing page and see a list, or let me say and see an info about the website. Okay, so if you present this to a developer in your developers team, the user knows the expectation that yes, I need a landing page, but there's something important. You need to put an info or something like that. It doesn't matter, just do it. So you have to do, and as well probably see info and as well as some feature products, something like that. Okay. So if you present your requirement as this, believe me or not, there will not be confusion executing it because you have already spell it out as in the requirement we want to see in that page. So if a user or a developer develop this without the info about the website and without the featured product section, believe me, you might reject the feature. So you have to actually try as much as possible. It is not, I'm not saying you have to do it this way. You have to make it specific in such a way that anybody that already know this requirement, what it's all about. So now I will just come down here where I have all this. I will just come here and just say probably I'll uh say research about the basic requirement of an e-commerce website. Okay, that is not all about this. You still need to come down here. It's very, very important, please. You can put other details here. If there is anything you want to check here. Hmm? Probably you can just say probably maybe find out from eBay. And you can just include probably the link here. Just make it easy for whoever wants to take up this task to just do it right. You have to make it easy. You provide enough information here in this description. Okay. Now, who are the person you might assign it to somebody here. But right now, I'm the only one here. So you can see I can assign it to myself. You see it here. So this is the label I was talking about. So I said something like if I don't want to uh, have building and testing column, I may just merge it to like in progress. So when you are doing that, you can just come there. You can have a list of labels. Okay, I can just create a label here. I can edit it here. Create a label and say testing as a label. I can create another one and say building. So the essence of all this is that if I just for instance I just say building, okay, just close it. So look at it from here. So anybody who is in our team already identify this color that whenever you see this color means that this particular one is building. Probably I should just move it down here because I'm building on it already. Okay, so but for me, I'm not doing that. I have like a workflow for building, a workflow for testing. So I will go back here and say I don't want to have the label, but I'm just showing you what label looks like here. So somebody can say I want to go with label. Somebody can say I want to have like a specific workflow for that. So it doesn't matter. You can just go with that. So and that is that. Then another important thing is that there might be some checklist. Maybe just like I put it, I can see uh, probably eBay, uh, maybe like Amazon. Oh, Amazon. Okay. Mm, let me delete this checklist, please. Oh, what am I doing? Checklist there. So what checklist is all about is that there must be some sub tickets. Okay, some sub tickets you want to have under this. Like I said, email. I have email. I can add email. I can have another one under here. I can just what's this? What's wrong with you? Okay. So under this, I can still add some items there that I want to have here. So you can still have another checklist there. And see, let me just say Amazon and add. So you can see. So what I'm saying now is that I can maybe if this probably if I assign this to a developer and developer has done the section about eBay, you can just complete this. I thought this should be clickable, but it doesn't matter. They just move on, please. So I can add some item there. Maybe let me just say uh, done. Let's see how far it goes. Okay, so I can come here too, but I can add some items and say done. What's wrong with you? There. So if you are done with this EB of 18, you can check it. You can check this one as well. Saying that you can have checklist and have some item under it. Whatever you have completed there, so you can do this. You can do it here. So I'm just trying to just get a kind of overview of what you should do as far as each story is all about. That is not all. First, I say you need to like assign if you want to assign it to somebody, you do this. You can put label, you can do checklist. One of the most important things you should do, if you don't do this, you don't do this, I don't care. But at least you have to specify the due date for the task. It's very, very important. So I want this to be done by Saturday. So I can put time, I can do and undo, I can do so I can just leave it and save it here. So in fact, I think I should say this dates. Oh, I didn't save it. Okay, I can save. What happened? Okay, check. Usually the date should be somewhere here. I don't know what happened. Uh, oh, is not set? Okay, let me try this. I want it here the day before. Mm. All right. I really don't know what is going on here. Usually, if you set the date here, the date should be somewhere on the card that you don't even need to open the card before you can see this. So they have to be coming down to this before I can see the date set for this card. But we can come back to this. Let's just move on, please. So that is just my first card here. So I can just come back here and say set up local environment. I can come here and say set up uh, environment. Environment. So here it depends. You can just come here and add some checklist and say I want to set up the okay maybe setups. Mhm. I can add like a file structure, probably ESLint. It depends. Whatever you want to set here, you can just set it here. Okay. So if anybody comes here, if you have completed the file structure, you check it. If you have completed it, you do this. So also the date, you need to set this date as well. So I will say date. I want it to get on Monday, and this it here. So I can close this. Still don't know why this is not. Okay, let's move on. So, but it's very important you set the dates. I really don't know why it's not showing. It should show around there. Sure. All right, the next one I'll pick up the repo. I'll set up the GitHub repo. Now I'll set up GitHub. Uh, I have to set up probably set up Simplify. Mm, maybe implement the landing page. Now implement the about page. Implement the contact page. Implement the products products listing page. Checkout page, implement it as well. To implement a cart page. So let me just try and just stop it. Then last but not the least, the deployment. The deployment I have to just put it because when you implement this without deployment, what happened there? So you can just leave all this. So for this GitHub, I can just say um uh set it up and add the repo link here in the comment section. So it's as simple as that. So I can just set like I don't need checklist there. So see what by what this is all about. Set up due date for this. Mm, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Just say this. I'm adding this. Start free trial or what? Do I have to click this before I can get access to this? All right. But please, you need to set this. Probably we'll just try and review this back. I just want to get this done. I'm done with that. So I'll come down here, do the same thing. When you are done, add the link here. So I can save that. Probably if you have any label, you can just attach the label. So that's it there. The landing page. This is where you have to be very specific here. This story says implement the landing page. Please, I told you, you might do this here at the title. And here you can just see as a user, this is like a way of writing this thing. You can say, uh, when I eat as a user, let me just come here. When I press eat, the logo icon, or let me just say, I'm just trying, when I enter the landing page, let me just say, for instance, http /e-commerce blah 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 ecommerce.com. I should see the landing page containing the feature product section. So at least you can have this here. So this has given the developer that see, you have to actually get the domain set up. Okay, so that at least when you finish this, to test it, you have to go to URL. When you click it, it will show the page. If you are unable to do that, you have not completed this. You can't mark this done unless you make sure that everything the requirement stated there is okay. So that's there. So you have to do that across this. You have to do that here. You need to actually specify implement about page, at least state some few things that you must have there. So I'm just saying that this is how it looks like in like a kind of all those big teams that you see around the world. You have to, because you can't just say implement about page. If I say I'm implementing what and what will actually make you feel like What are the checklists that will make you feel like this person has done justice to this user story? So you need to put everything here. And that's not all. Another thing you should do here, let me come back here, is that in most cases you will have what's it called? Edit. In most cases you have the like in prototype. Oh, let me say the prototype link at. So you need to put it there. So everything that will make this task or user story easier to implement, you have to provide it here. Okay, then probably you might just include like somebody who this person can reach out to like maybe Hans for uh any question. Maybe for clarity or something like that. So if this person has issue with this, he knows that you already provided like a kind of uh maybe a kind of information to say this person, Hans, has something to share with you if you want to meet with that person. So this you just make sure that you provide enough information that will make sure that make this task to be easier to implement. So that is just very important. The only thing that I feel like we have not done here is this date. I really don't know why this date is still think probably was it set due date. Really set it. This is 22. Yes. Okay, let me do something, please. Let me set here. Let me say few. Let me say a day before. You know, let's see. Oh, let's see. So it looks like you are not going to see that until you have something like this. But let me still adjust that, please. This is somehow funny. Okay, save. Wow. Mhm. What happened to this? Something is not working fine here. Okay, I'm setting this date. Then save it. Oh, wow. It's okay now. I don't know why. Well, anyway, when you I completed this. No, I don't want to complete it. Okay, let me save. Yeah, I think we have it now. So if I want to review your work, at least I should see this backlog. Then for each of the tasks you see here, I should see like try and make it to be specific. Okay. Then another thing here is that implementing landing page is like it has many facets. Yeah. You can say you want to implement the HTML part of it. What about the styling? So you need to just add like a kind of checklist here. I can just say maybe I can just come here and say build the HTML part. Okay. Style, add the styling, something like that. So if the user finished building this thing, you can check it. Come here, you can check it. So I can just save this. Open. Okay, let's look it again. So the due date is 22nd November. We have some to dos here. You have to make sure that you have the HTML part. Okay, you have to make sure that you have the styling. Maybe yeah, this is okay. So I have it now. Um, Good. So just like you do today's, you can do the same because we only have like 5 minutes left. Just complete. So if you do it this way, make sure that the title is specific. This is all about landing page. You have to specific. You have to say the page that you want to get done here. You can't just say design the interface or you have to make this descriptive. Then description, provide enough information for the developer so that you won't have issues implementing this task. So you need to provide the requirements here. As a user, when I enter blah 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 link, I should see the landing page containing so and so. Then you need to provide the markup, the prototype link art. Then reach out to whoever. If you have any question, you can just reach out to the person. Then what are the to-dos? Things that we need to check if we want to actually approve this ticket. This is everything here. Most time is being done by Scrum Master, which is one of the personnel in Agile methodology. Scrum Master is someone that knows everything about this. So just like the question that Hans asked, or someone asked the question, like I said, you might just have like maybe not actually into to, though you might not have like a very good understanding, but at least as a Scrum Master, you should know everything about this. So you have the to-dos there. So when this person implement this, let me just say, when this person implement this, like if you finish implementing this, you can just come down here and say, okay, if you are building it, you come down here and say you are building it. So everything is clear here that currently we have all this backlog and this is what we are building currently. If you finish it, you can say you are testing. When you finish testing it, you can just come down here, okay? And believe me or not, when you are still here, one thing I would like you to just do is that, we don't expect you to finish building the HTML part at once. When you finish this, check it. This will actually be telling us the progress. We don't need to go and having a kind of one-on-one meeting with you. So if I come to this board and I see a check here, and one funny thing, I don't think this thing is not in sync. Right now, if when I check one of the checklists, the to do under the checklist, I should see 1/2. It should be telling me here. I don't know why. Something is not okay. So it should tell us that we have two checklists here, but at least one has been done. So when I check these two, it should be reflecting here. So it's not. Well, your own case, it might not be like that. I don't know what is actually wrong with this. So this is what we expect you. You should at least for the CA, we want to see the backlog. I want to see at least one or two tasks you are in progress. So and anything you have been able to complete, probably research or something, you can just move it down to. I think I've been able to complete this. I can just move this one down to this. So we should see like a kind of progress telling us that wow, this person knows how to just move what and what task from what column to another column. So that is it about that. I think even though I was able to finish everything, but at least I believe I've been able to actually explain the most part of it. Oh, Joanna, thank you. You have to mark a start date. So please, I think I've been able to do like probably the most important thing, show you what and what you need to do about planning your project. So if you have question, please you can drop your question, please. Probably in just like in a minute. Probably you can just like extend it to like probably 5 minutes. If you have any question, you can just ask the question. Any question, please? You can speak up if I expect to include the user story in the CA when we don't have a detailed brief for it. Yes. Why? Yes. This is why. At least you have. Let me just try and open the a moment, please. Oh, sorry. Let me try and open the product methodology CA here. Yeah. Good. Okay. Look at it, please. You don't have like. Let me see the question again. Are we expected to include the user story in the CA when we don't have a detailed brief? Yes, you don't have like a complete details, but at least look at it here. This is what I feel like you can still do. The GitHub is there. You have to set up the GitHub and you have to set up the Netlify. That's there, right? Then the fact that all this it should be neat or something, you can see included in somewhere. Then look at it. The website shall have 4 to 5 pages and be responsive, right? So believe me or not, every website you go to, you should have like landing page. You should have contact page. You should have about page. So you can just say probably at least talk about landing page, contact page, and about page. Those three is important. Talk about it and mention that you should be responsive with across screen sizes. Okay, then what about this testing of a thing? You need to include it that it should be WCAG compliance. Okay, then the SEO guideline you have to just put it there. So at least you have something to just work on with. We don't expect you to say yes. We don't have the exact project we want to work on right now, but at least 4 to 6 pages. We should have like 3 pages structured out in the Trello board. I think I have another question here. For this year, we just plan to make user stories. You just plan to make user stories. I don't get the question, please, Hans. Can you? Because the way I understand this is that yes, the user story, you just plan out this user story, the requirement, because what is coming from the customer or the client might not be well structured. So that's why a product owner needs to be there. Product owner will now know this is what you want, good. The product owner will now take from requirement, we structure it and translate it to user stories there. So what we expect you to do is that you need to actually think about everything about the website. For me now, I would say you guys should just pick any website. Nobody will question you. Pick like something, probably your HTML and CSS project. Pick it and discuss it. At least you have a project you have work on, right? I think, and by now you should have like a very good understanding about that. Discuss it in your report and plan it with your Trello board. All the pages you have there, bring them out. Do you get what I'm trying to say now? Any other question, please? We are 2 minutes uh, late now. What should we write a report to be that long when we are doing just the thing you explained? You see, first, first in the report, you need to talk about the a kind of a brief description of the project. For instance, now let's say you are working on the rainy day project. You cannot say at least a definition of the rainy project. You need to describe it so anybody who wants to read this will know that this document I'm reading is all about rainy project, and rainy project is probably an e-commerce website that does it, that does that. Good. Now you cannot say that probably better still in project methodology. You can see there are, as mean, the software SDLC, software development lifecycle. There are some stages there, right? Or maybe I should just try and just what is it? SDLC, this is SDLC. Good. Look at these stages. Okay, you can talk about requirement here. You list all the requirement here. But in this case, it might not necessarily mean that very structured. It might be what I have here. Believe me or not, this is like a document, but it's not well structured because nobody can read it and understand it except I. But you have to put it that this is the requirement. The design, if you have like a kind of mock-up or something like you can just use it to back it up. That this is how you want to design it, and you will spend so time doing this, so time doing that. So you have to say that the project will start from so day and finish so time. So I don't think you that is clear in the Trello board that you have to start so time. Yes, probably the user can just get that to know from the first ticket to the last ticket here. But at least use your document to actually analyze that. You say a lot about the requirement. You need to state all the requirement. How do you plan to design it? Do you need to do some research? Do you need to go and do something on Figma? Okay. Then the construction. How do you go about it? What are the tasks there? Because, for instance, in the requirement, you might have like 100 requirements here. What requirement fits in the design? What requirement fits in the construction section? And then what requirement is under the implementation here? So you need to do all those things there. The kind of conclusion there. Any other question, please? All right. Believe me or not, this is not I don't want this situation to be like a teacher-student relationship, please. If there's anything you are not clear with, drop it either the channel or just send a kind of DM to me. I'm readily available to answer any question. If it warrant that we should like organize another session, I would gladly do that. Okay? Please. I just want everything. My own is not about I'm not interested in anybody failing. Likewise anyone of the teacher, especially the MJ. MJ doesn't want any one of you to fail. Let me just be clear about this. We just want a situation whereby you know how to do these things because at the end of the day, you will leave Norof. You will join a team. Then you are representing Norof there. Okay, then what will you say there? So that's why we are trying to just push it. Then I always say it, we are open to feedback. Something I might not be doing well, just like I'm giving you feedback. You have to give me feedback to actually make me improve. Okay, there is nothing like you are. Please be straight. If there is anything that is not you don't understand, please ask question. Please ask question. Asking the question will make you feel like yes, you might feel like wow, maybe I'm old enough. I'm too old to ask a certain question. You are nobody. Learning is ahead of us. You continue to learn and learn and learn and learn. If there is anything you don't understand, please just ask me. If you warrant, I'll send you like probably like a kind of additional video or something to watch. I'll send it to you. All I want is that everybody should know how to just do the planning because look at it, it's just a week course. And if you don't do it right here, you might not have chance to go through it again. You might not have the chance because when you move from here, you are moving on to another subject. That alone might be another headache. What time do you have to come back to project methodology? Please, I don't think you have enough time unless you are that kind of a student that has actually go extra mile. And believe me or not, you might not even willing to go to project methodology until you join a team when they are now speaking in tongues like product backlog, sprint backlog, sprint retro sorry. So sprint planning and every other thing is there. So please ask question, send me a DM. I'm actually open to anything. Just ask a question. If I don't know it, I will reach out to other teacher and believe me or not, we just get it done. The aim is for you to do better. So I think we can sure, sure. There is always peer review. When you finish your work, in fact, it's something that is very good. It's okay, it's allowed for you to reach out to your colleague and say, see, this is what I've done. What happened? What happened? The thing we don't allow is that plagiarism, please. You shouldn't do plagiarism. You shouldn't copy word for word what somebody has spent time to do. That is cheating to us at Norov. Do it your own way. Ask for review. Whatever the comment is, implement the comment. That is just the way we want it to teamwork. But don't do teamwork and be copying somebody's work, please. Exactly. All right. Any other question you have, you can just drop it on the channel or you send a DM to me. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys coming on board to actually make this session worthy. Thank you. I'll see you probably in next subjects or probably another session if you guys ask for it. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.